Portal activate, they command, and a few seconds later, the bright white fades to a smoky blue flame floating in a sort of void. Welcome, vagabond spirit. A calm, soothing voice beckons to Chadri. Next, the voice goes on to advise. Before you lie a few very crucial decisions to make. While there are no right or wrong answers here, the choices made will drastically affect every aspect of the adventures on which you are about to embark. To start, you must decide which race you wish to be. Each race has one or more starting locations and associated starting factions. As you grow, your faction alignment may change due to decisions you make and actions you take, but that is a more advanced theme better left for later. The other main factors affected by your chosen race is innate racial abilities and/or affinities. You see, some races can see in the dark, while others may be able to sense treasure nearby. Other attributes such as higher strength, dexterity, or magic affinity are also included in this mix. Finally, certain aspects of gameplay will be affected based on the size of the character you choose in the next few moments. For example, there are areas where certain treasures can only be reached by someone who is small enough to fit through small passage. On the other hand, there are other treasures which can only be accessed by someone who is large enough to reach up high or pick up certain items. After a short pause, the voices advise, please take some time and choose carefully which form will best suit your ideal personal playstyle. As soon as the monologue ends, a globe appears before Chadri. It is about the size of a small beach ball and just within arm's reach, softly glowing as it hovers and rotates slowly. A gentle humming comes from inside the luminescent globe. He eyes it carefully for a second, then curious, he reaches out and touches it to see if he can feel it. He immediately gasps and pulls his hand back sharply, as his fingers feel cold and frosty the second they make contact with the surface. Afterwards, he extends his hand once again, and this time, his fingers feel warmth and humidity radiating from the globe. He thinks for a second, assessing the situation. Suddenly, he realizes that the first time he touched the globe, that area was located near the north, a cold and snowy region, whereas the second time he placed his fingers on an area of the globe, it was in the center, a warm tropical area. Dude, he thinks to himself, this is amazing. He places his thumb in his mouth, kind of biting on the tip. Then he reaches out to the globe again and holds it in place. Information suddenly appears over the globe in the air, showing several races that are obviously tied to this particular region. On the far left is a male and female pair of what look like humans. To the right of them, just above the globe, is a green-skinned pair with very muscular builds. Lastly, hovering on the far right, he sees a pair of tiny, wooden-looking beings. Above each pair, there are labels stating the races. Humans, orcs, and brownies are the indigenous races of this region. He hovers his hand over the orcs, and to the right of them, a floating tablet appears with various pertinent information being displayed. This includes racial alignments between their race and others, racial attributes and abilities, and class compatibilities for this race. Intrigued, Chadri says to himself, so you can be any class you want regardless of race, but if you choose to be an orc mage, your racial strength buff won't necessarily help you in battle. However, it would be of great benefit as an orc warrior. Then he pauses and strokes his chin, saying, interesting. He returns his attention to the floating images and realizes that each pair displayed are accompanied by a variable size chart. The images shown give the average height of the selected character, and a height line to the left of each character shows the selectable height range. He looks closely at the orc male and sees they can range from 5'10" to 7 foot tall, while the female orc height ranges from 5'8" to 6'5". Then his eye catches another bit of information: weight. As he touches the height section line, he slides it up to the tallest possible setting and notices that the weight increases in tandem. After this, he realizes that there is also a physique section, but it has no option to select or change it. At this, he wonders out loud, "Why isn't there an option to change the physique? I want more muscles." Suddenly, the same voice from before responds. "Just as in your world, here in Thornpath, your physique is determined by your choices and actions. If you truly wish to have more muscles, then you should engage in activities that will result in this outcome. Physically demanding work and undertaking tasks which require you to use your strength to complete are both good options for this outcome." "Whoa!" Chadri states jokingly, and slightly surprised. "You're still here?" After asking, he looks for the owner of the voice with his eyes glancing back and forth. "Yes," the voice answers. "I am the guide, the liaison, if you will, between your realm and this one. I will remain in contact with you for the transition period. During this time, if you have any questions, I will be here to provide you with answers." "Excellent," Chadri thinks to himself, making sure not to say it out loud. Next, he redirects his attention back to the globe and starts wondering what other races he can find on it, how big or small they are in comparison to each other, and what sort of special abilities they each possess. He once again places his hand on the globe and gives it a slight spin to the left. Hovering his hand over the central, southern, and northern regions, he sees goblins and ogres alongside dwarves and humans in one region. The goblins are short, ugly humanoids with dark green skin, beady yellow eyes, and large pointy ears. The ogres are huge, grotesque humanoids who are fat, yet super strong. Another soft spin, and the next section shows kobolds and dark elves sharing the land with wood elves and dwarves. The kobolds are a rather short, beastly-looking lot. Striped fur like a badger, large claws and teeth are the main traits for them. The dark elves are almost identical to the high elves, at slightly taller than average heights and high intelligence. Also like the high elves, their attributes include a high affinity to arcane arts. Overall, the selection is impressive and seems to have something for everyone. The trolls and ogres are the largest races available, while the brownies, fae, and halflings are on the opposite end of the spectrum. Suddenly, remembering the rest of his friends were waiting for him to join them in this new world, he tries to find a cool choice quickly. After a few moments, Chadri opts to be a half-elf bard with vocal specialization. This particular skill set enables him to use dark magic to debilitate enemy abilities and attributes with his special songs and lyrics. He can also learn to enhance his allies with songs that will increase their rage levels, attack power, attack speed, or movement speed. The previously mentioned songs offer increased crowd control, such as fear or stun duration. He also sees an option about pain suppression and healing. With the main core choices set in stone, he begins a quick setup on the cosmetic aspects. He chooses to model his half-elf avatar after his own image, a tall, pale-skinned half-elf with a long black and red dreadhawk, equipped with some basic leather and a knife. "Are you prepared to enter Thornpath, adventurer?" the voice inquires. Hell yeah!" Chadri shouts. Then you have but one more step before you proceed, the voice responds. Okay, what's that? Chadri asks. A name. You have to choose a name, the voice answers. Of course, I knew that, Chadri says sarcastically. Well, that's easy, he boldly states with a huge smile, then shouts, Greylick! My name is Greylick! Ding! A loud ding rings out all around him that shakes him to his core, as everything turns to a bright yellow flash.